revise with you now little bit before I go ahead with my class. Okay, let me just revise for all of you. Dear students, you see the extract is from the play The Browning Version, written by Terence Rattigan, which highlights on two contrasting school teachers, Mr. Crocker Harris and Mr. Frank. They are different in age and their approach in teaching. Okay, they are different in age as well as in their approach in teaching. So there are two teachers we come across in this lesson. One is the traditional, sincere, hardworking Mr. Crocker Harris, who was a literature teacher. Okay, whereas there is another teacher who is Mr. Frank, who is a modern teacher who gives indulgence to students so much and who is very much casual with students. So in comparison to both the teachers, Mr. Crocker Harris, the traditional teacher, the old teacher and literature teacher, was found to be more sincere in comparison to his science counterpart. Okay, Frank is young and more interactive with students, while Mr. Harris is middle-aged and strict. He is middle-aged teacher and very much strict. Frank lacks involvement and devotion, while Crocker Harris is considered as a hard taskmaster and the students are scared of him. Frank lacks involvement. Okay, he is just casual with the students. Okay, so he lacks involvement and devotion, while Crocker Harris is considered as a hard taskmaster and the students are scared of him. The one-act play also represents the rivalry among the teachers. Okay, so this act, this lesson also presents the theme of rivalry among the teachers. The lesson also describes the reaction of a student of Mr. Crocker Harris towards his teachers. Okay, the lesson also describes the reaction of a student of Mr. Crocker Harris towards his teacher. The lesson describes the pain of a dedicated teacher who has a strict attitude towards his students, and on the other hand, another teacher who represents the friendly modern teachers who give indulgence to students and are jealous of those teachers who are committed to their profession. So dear students, this particular bullet point is very important. Try to understand. This lesson describes the pain of a dedicated teacher like Crocker Harris, who has a strict attitude towards his students, and this lesson also describes another teacher who represents the friendly modern teachers who give too much of indulgence to students and are very much casual in their approach towards students and are jealous of those teachers who are committed to their profession. So dear students, Bhagyasri, good morning. Alma, good morning. Saivya, good morning. Pravash, can you text me whether I am audible as well as visible? Just quickly you text me so that I continue with my text explanation now. Pravash, can you please text me quickly whether I am visible as well as audible? Thank you, Pravash. Thank you so much. Okay, so see, now Frank is saying bad luck. Still, there is one comfort. You are pretty well certain to get your removed tomorrow for being a good boy in taking extra class. Okay. Now, in the absence of Crocker Harris, those who were absent in the last class, for them, I'm just giving you the background information. See here, Taplo is a student. Okay, Taplo is a student in the lower grade. Okay, so what happens, he has been given extra work by his literature teacher Mr. Crocker Harris, okay, because he missed out a day in the previous week for his sickness, so he missed out his lesson. So in order to make up the loss of one day in the last week, Taplo has been detained by his teacher, his literature teacher, to complete his work. Okay, complete his work. After the school hours, he has been detained to complete his work, to make up for the loss that he had last week, okay, the previous week, due to his sickness. Now that Teplo has arrived, and Crocker Harris is yet to come to the scene, Teplo is met by another science teacher, Frank. So there is a conversation going on between Teplo and Frank now, okay. There is a conversation going on between Teplo and Frank now, okay. So there is a conversation between Teplo and Frank. Okay. So Frank is saying, bad luck. Still there is one comfort. You are pretty well certain to get your removed tomorrow for being a good boy in taking extra class. Okay. Teplo is saying, well, I am not so sure, sir. That would be the true of the ordinary masters, all right. But Crocker Harris is a very strict teacher. He will not just give you indulgence and give you more marks, okay, which you do not deserve. Okay, he will give you marks as far according to what you have written on the answer script, according to what you deserve. Understood? So therefore, Teplo is showing his concern, okay, over his marks, okay, over his marks in literature, because he is not so sure whether his literature teacher will award him pass grade. Understood? Because he is quite different from other teachers. Understood? He will award you for what you deserve. He will never award you for what you do not deserve. He is not like Frank or any other teacher. Okay, he never gives indulgence to teachers. Okay, he gives you marks according to what you deserve. Okay, they just would not dare not to give a chap a remove after he's taking extra class. Okay, and it's even not sure that I am attending the extra class, so Crocker Harris will give me a remove, or he will promote me in the next class. Understood? He will promote me in the next class. But those sort of rules don't apply to Mr. Crocker Harris. I asked him yesterday outright if he had given me a remove, and do you know what he said, sir? No, what? Imitating a very gentle, rather throaty voice. He is now imitating, Teplo is now imitating his literature teacher, Crocker Harris, saying, my dear Teplo, I have given you exactly what you deserve, no less and certainly no more. So see, whenever Teplo asked his literature teacher how much he scored, then he said, teacher said, I have given you exactly what you deserve, no less and certainly no more. So you can imagine, dear students, from the statement of Teplo about his literature teacher, how strict he is. He never gives indulgence to any students, and he never gives heightened marks or inflated marks to students. Understood? Do you know, sir, I think he may have marked me down. Instead of marking me up, he might have marked me down, rather for taking extra work. I have taken extra work, I am doing extra work. But in spite of that, I think he will mark me down. I mean, the man is hardly human. Okay, he's saying my teacher is hardly human. He breaks off quickly. Sorry, sir, have I gone too far? Frank says, yes, much too far. Sorry, sir, I got carried away. Frank, evidently you got carried away. Of course, you carried away. Teplo, yes, sir. What was that Crocker Harris said to you? Just repeat, would you? Then again Teplo is imitating again his literature teacher. Crocker Harris is saying, my dear Teplo, I have given you exactly what you deserve, no less and certainly no more. Again the same statement being repeated by Teplo on the request of Frank here, because Frank is trying to make a fun of Mr. Crocker Harris in front of Teplo in order to tarnish his image as a strict teacher. Okay, so because Frank might have felt jealous of the Crocker Harris, okay, because of his devotion and commitment towards his duty towards his students. Therefore, Frank is trying to make fun of Mr. Crocker Harris. Okay, that is why he is asking Teplo to repeat the statement of Mr. Crocker Harris once again to him. Okay, Frank, looking severe, not in the least like him. Read your nice Aeschylus and be quiet. Aeschylus, dear students, is the name of the writer who has written the book Agamemnon, which presently Teplo is going through. Okay, which presently Teplo is going through. Tableau with dislikes Aeschylus. I don't want to read Aeschylus now. Frank, look, what time did Mr. Cocker Harris tell you to be here? 6:30, sir. Okay, now there is a conversation going on. Okay, so good morning, Gauri. Bharti, good morning. Please stay connected and be on time, dear students, because I have already started. Okay, so maximum of 5 minutes grace time I can allow you, not more than that. Okay, so please be sincere and be punctual in reporting to in logging on to YouTube for live streaming classes. Okay, otherwise you shall be losing out some of the content part. Okay, and if you miss out the links, in that case it will be difficult for you to understand. Okay, so anyway, thank you. Let me continue. Okay, so now see what kind of attitude Frank is having. He is asking, what time did Mr. Cocker Harris tell you to be here? Then Tableau says 6:30, sir. Well, he is 10 minutes late. Why don't you cut? He could still play golf before lockup. Okay, lockup means after the dispersal time is called lockup. You know, after the school gets closed. Okay, so well, he is 10 minutes late. So see the attitude of Frank. He is trying to compel Tableau to cut. To cut means to escape from the place, because his teacher is already 10 minutes late. Cocker Harris is 10 minutes late. Okay, so Frank is not a good teacher. What he is doing? He is trying to make the student escape the lesson of Cocker Harris. But let's find out how Tableau reacts. Tableau really shocked. Oh no, I couldn't cut. I cannot cut the class of Cocker Harris, because he is a very strict teacher. So I cannot cut his class. Cut the crock. Mr. Cocker Harris, you shall cut the crock. No, it's not possible to bunk his class. I cannot bunk his class. He is such a strict teacher. I shouldn't think it is ever been done in the whole time he has been here. Means I don't think it was ever possible to bunk the class of Mr. Cocker Harris. Okay, for such a long time he has been here with us. Okay, we have never thought of any day we have bunked his class. God knows what would happen if I did. So if I bunk his class, then God knows what will follow. Okay, he will certainly punish me. He shall certainly take up all the measures, okay, all the strict measures against me. Therefore, I don't dare to, bunk his class. He would probably follow me home or something, okay. He might come to my home. He might scold me in front of my parents. So I don't want to take the risk. Frank is now responding, I must admit I envy him the effect he seems to have on you boys in the form. Okay, so you see, he is candidly or very clearly confessing, his science teacher Frank is very clearly confessing here that I am jealous of him. I envy him means I am jealous of him because of the impact your literature teacher has created on you boys in the form in this class. Okay, so your literature teacher seems to have made such a tremendous impact on all of you, okay, in the class, of which I am very much jealous of. You all seem scared to death of him. That's a good thing actually. Students being concerned about his teacher, is being scared of his teacher. That's a good thing actually. Why is good? Because in that case students cannot bunk the lesson. In that case they will be up to date with their lessons. In that case they can make progress in studies. Okay, so they cannot afford to take the lessons casually. So it's a good quality of Mr. Cocker Harris, and this particular habit should be restored in present time also. Okay, we should be friendly with the students. At the same time we should be assertive so that students cannot bunk our lesson. We should always follow up. So this is something what Mr. Cocker Harris is doing very good for the students community. You can see here, okay, students are all so very much concerned about him, so very much scared about him, because he is concerned about students. Okay, what does it do? Beat you? What does it do? Beat you all or something? Good Lord, no, he doesn't beat us. He is not a sadist like one or two of the others. He is not a sadist. Meaning of sadist is, dear students, a person who gets pleasure out of out of inflicting pain to others. It's called sadist. Okay, a person who feels happy by seeing the pain of others. He is called a sadist. So Taplo is saying our teacher is not a sadist. Okay, he doesn't beat us. He doesn't give us unnecessary suffering. Okay, so he's a good person. I beg your pardon. Frank is saying, I beg your pardon. A sadist, sir, is someone who gets pleasure out of giving pain. Our teacher, our literature teacher, Crocker Harris is not a sadist. He does not inflict unnecessary pain to all of us. Okay, he is a very caring teacher. Might be very strict at times, but he is a caring teacher. He is not a sadist. Indeed, but I think you went on to say that some other masters. Yeah, but I think you went on to say that some of your teachers, some of your other teachers, okay, are sadists. Then, well, of course they are. Taplo is saying, of course they are sadists. Okay, but not our literature teacher Crocker Harris. Okay, I won't mention names, but you know them as well as I do. I won't mention the names because it feels good. Okay, I won't take the name of the teachers who are sadists. Okay, but you must be knowing who they are. Of course, I know most masters think we boys don't understand a thing, but sir, you are different. Okay, but he's saying, sir, you are different. You are young, well, comparatively. Anyway, and your science, you must know what sadism is. Okay, now Taplo is referring to Frank, actually his science teacher. Okay, he's saying, I know, but I'm not talking about you. You are different teacher. You are not a sadist. Okay, you are young. You are comparatively young teacher, and you belong to the science stream. So you must be knowing about what sadism is all about. Okay, Frank, after a pause. Good Lord, what our schools coming to? Okay, so Frank is saying expressing his disappointment. Actually, saying, "Good Lord, what are our schools coming to? In our schools, there are teachers who are sadists also. My goodness, I can't believe that teachers can be sadists." Okay, Taplo says, "Anyway, the Croc isn't a sadist. That's what I am saying. He wouldn't be so frightening if he were." Because at least it would show he had some feelings. Okay, so Croc, our teacher Croc Harris isn't a sadist. Okay, that's what I am saying. He wouldn't be so frightening if he were. Okay, even if he were sadist, he would not be so frightening because he had concern for us. Okay, he takes care of us. Okay, so even if he were sadist, he would not be so scary. Okay. Scary or frightened. Okay, but he had some feelings. Mr. Crocker Harris had some feelings. Okay, for us, he is human. Okay, he has a lot of love and affection for his students. Okay, so therefore, even if he were a sadist, okay, it would not be very much revealing by his words, because at least, or by his treatment, because at least he has a lot of feelings. But he hasn't. But of course he hasn't. Okay, he is all shriveled up inside like a nut, and he seems to hate people to like him. Okay, he doesn't want any kind of what is it called? He doesn't like any kind of appreciation from people. Okay, our literature teacher Crocker Harris doesn't want any appreciation from anyone. He is shriveled up like a knot because he is very much reserved person. Okay, he seems to hate people to like him. Okay, he does not like people who like him. Okay, means he doesn't expect any appreciation from people. That is what it means to say. It's funny that I don't know any other master who doesn't like being liked. Okay, who doesn't like being liked. Every human being loves to be appreciated, likes to be liked, loves to be admired. But Crocker Harris is an altogether different teacher. Okay, in what way he is altogether a different teacher? Because he is a very reserved personality, number one, and he doesn't want others to praise him or shower heaps of praises on him. Okay, he doesn't want people to appreciate him. Okay, he doesn't want people to like him, because this is his characteristics. Okay, he cannot be flattered. Okay, he's a different kind of personality. Okay, he is very strict and he is reserved, and he does not want any kind of unnecessary appreciation or admiration like other human beings do, or like other human beings like. So Pravash, Sanika, Ashutosh, Prakhar, do you have any doubt at this point or till this point, or I should continue with my text? Please reply quickly. If you have any doubt, I shall immediately respond to it, or else I shall go ahead with my text. Any one of you can text me. Anybody can text me if you have any concern. Okay, thank you Prabhas, thank you so much. Okay, so Frank, and I don't know anybody who doesn't use that for his own purposes. Okay, so try to understand, dear students. Here you see, I don't know any other masters who doesn't like being liked. Okay, that is what Taplow said about Crocker Harris. Okay, and then here Frank is saying, and I don't know anybody who doesn't use that for his own purposes. Okay, what does it mean, dear students? I don't know anybody who doesn't use that for his own purposes. Okay, he says that no, there are some people who likes to be appreciated, of course, and I don't know anybody who does not use that. Means everybody use that for his own purposes. Everybody uses the appreciation, liking, and all this quality, okay, this particular thing, okay, for his own purposes. But Crocker Harris does not use any kind of does not love any kind of flattery or any kind of unnecessary praise. Okay, so, well, it's a natural, sir, but not with the crop. Okay, here Frank is saying everybody loves to be appreciated. I don't know anybody who doesn't use that for his own purposes. Means every human being loves to be appreciated. Okay, then Taplow says, well, it is natural, sir, but not with the crop. It's very natural that every human being loves to be loved, likes to be liked, or loves to be appreciated or admired. But it is not the case with Crocker Harris, Mr. Crocker Harris. Taplow, Mr. Crocker Harris, the funny thing is that in spite of everything, I do rather like him. I can't help it, and sometimes I think he sees it, and that seems to shrivel him up even more. Okay, shrivel him up means he does not want to express his feelings for Taplow, even though he likes Taplow. Okay, because there are some students, there are some people who do not tend to or who do not display his feelings for his students or display his feelings to his children. Okay, because they are very reserved. They feel shy at showing their emotions, showing their feelings. So Mr. Crocker Harris is one of them. Inside he might be having a lot of feelings for his students, and in that case Taplow, but he will not show it. Okay, you have to read it from his gesture, or you have to read it from his treatment. Okay. So this is what Mr. Taplow is saying. Mr. Crocker Harris, the funny thing is that in spite of everything, I do rather like him. Why do I like him? Because I can't help it. I can't help liking him. It is something which comes naturally. The liking for Mr. Crocker Harris comes naturally to me. Okay, so I can't help it. I can't help liking my teacher. It comes naturally from inside me. And sometimes I think he sees it, and that seems to, and I think sometimes he feels that I like him so much. Therefore, he becomes even more reserved. Okay, even more reserved, because he is a very traditional person, very reserved kind of person. Altogether a different personality. He also likes me, but he doesn't show it off. Okay. I am sure you are exercising. Frank cannot believe that. Okay, Frank cannot believe that Taplow likes Crocker Harris so much. Therefore, Frank says, I'm sure you are exaggerating. Means you are बड़ा चढ़ा के आप बोल रहे हो, okay? आप सही नहीं बोल रहे हो, आप मतलब बढ़ा के बोल रहे हो, okay? Frank cannot believe that Taplow is Taplow has high regards for his teacher. Understood? So Frank cannot believe that. Frank cannot stomach this idea. Therefore, he is saying you are exaggerating, Taplow. No, sir, I am not. In the forum the other day, he made one of his classical jokes. No, sir, I am not. I am not exaggerating. He is like this. The way I am describing my teacher, he is like this. In the forum the other day, in the forum means in the class, the other day he made one of his classical jokes. Classical jokes means one of his old jokes. Okay, what is this? Of course, nobody laughed because nobody understood it, myself included. Okay, nobody laughed at his classical jokes, and nobody laughed, including myself, because we never understood what he said. Still, I knew he would meant it as funny, so I laughed. But as I have goodwill for my teacher, so I thought whatever jokes he will crack, that is meant for being funny. Therefore I laughed, but in reality I did not understand his jokes. Okay, so I laughed, but I had to laugh, okay, because I knew that he meant something funny. Out of ordinary common politeness and feeling a bit sorry for him for having made a poor joke. Okay, so I laughed for another reason, out of ordinary common politeness. Okay, because my teacher is cracking jokes, I've got to laugh. Okay, so out of courtesy, out of politeness, I had to, but I feel sorry because he made such a poor joke because nobody could understand his joke. Okay, but in spite of that I laughed, sir. Now I can't remember what the joke was, but suppose I make it now, you laugh, sir. Frank laughs. Okay, because the joke was meant for people to make it funny and to laugh, so therefore he had to laugh. Okay, Taplow in a gentle throaty voice is saying, Taplow, you laughed at my little joke, I noticed. Taplow said, you laughed at my little joke, I noticed. I must confess that I am pleased at the advance your Latin has made, since you so readily have understood what the rest of the forum did not. So what was the reaction of Crocker Harris? He was a Latin teacher, actually, literature teacher, okay, Latin language teacher. So Taplow says, in a gentle and throaty voice, Taplow, you laughed at my little joke, I noticed. I must confess that I am pleased at the advance your Latin has made, since you so readily have understood what the rest of the forum did not. So you have learnt advanced level of Latin, therefore you were able to understand the content of my joke, that is why you laughed. Okay, which rest of the people in the forum did not understand, therefore they did not laugh. Okay, so it was you who understood, because you have made lot of progress in your learning of Latin language. Okay, this is what his literature teacher said after Taplow laughed at his joke. Perhaps now you would be good enough to explain it to them, so that they too can share your pleasure. And then his teacher instructed him to be good enough to explain the content of the joke to the rest of the class, so that they also can have some pleasure out of my joke. Okay. Dear students, now the scene will change little bit, dear students, and I have come to the end of my today's class, because next class is scheduled for 12:30 by another teacher. Therefore I have to take leave of you. Please remind me. Anyway, I have already marked it here. I have continued up to page 54. Okay, we'll start from this. Now the scene will undergo change, dear students. Now the scene will undergo change, and you shall find a new character being introduced in the story. So I shall recap first in the next class what I have taught today, and then I will straight away go to the next part in the text. Okay, so dear students, in the meantime you please update your lesson notes. Okay, thank you so much, dear students, for staying connected. So Pravash, I don't know, you are supposed to understand because it's in Hindi, okay, not in Latin, or sometimes of course there are some jokes which we don't understand anyway, but it is meant for making the live class more interesting, might be. Okay, so thank you all of you dear students for staying online, staying connected with me, and please be online. I give a grace period of 5 minutes, but 11 by 11:55 you please be there. Okay, try to be at 11:50 sharp, but if you have any kind of problem or whatever, you can take 5 minutes break and report immediately at 11:55. Thank you so very much, Suhani, Tanvi, Ria, Sanika, Shraddha, Mayur, Arya, and Alma, Pravas, and others as well. Thank you so much for staying connected. We shall meet the next class, virtually meet of course, in the next class. Thank you so much. Thank you dear, thank you so much.